I don't know. Fucking. Oh, so you've been doing some handstands, Joe?
Yeah. Getting dressed and doing a handstand.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm not watching in that long to see that. Oh, sorry.
You are
Oh,
live, by the way. You're absolutely live, guys.
my bad. Right. We're live, as everyone is aware. So this is Joe
Except for
Bestwick.
you.
Yeah. This is Joe Bestwick. He's a Paralympian. He's played for Landil, who are one of the most respected organisations in Europe, for quite a while. And now he plays for Hanover United, who are also up and coming and already proven themselves as a pretty decent organisation. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Joe.
Yeah, I played for GB for a few years. So I think 2006 to 2013 were the years that I was more active, and then just a reserve from 13 through till 19, I think was the last year that I was reserve, or 18. Yeah, played for Landil for 5 years, 2 years at Cologne in Germany. Won a few titles with Landale, Champions League, 4 leagues, 4 cups. And the last 3 years I've been at Hanover United, and we've progressed playing with you, people like yourself.
Thanks. Oh, bit glitchy there. Yeah, tell us about the facilities at Hanover. Cause obviously
Yeah,
you take like thousands of shots a day and stuff like that. Not anymore, obviously, but because of Corona. But
not at the minute, that's gone out the window.
yeah,
Yeah, Hanover, they're in a really fortunate position. I know a lot of clubs struggle to get things like court time, whereas Hanover are in this awesome position that they're partnered with the Disabled Sports Association for the county, or the equivalent of the county. So they've got access there to training courts that we use. I think we have access to like 4 days a week. So we can go in there every morning and do a shooting session. So that's where, for example, I'll use my shooting session. We have gym access there for the guys who are German national team. We have a sponsor gym for the guys like myself, like yourself when you were here, like Mariska and
yep.
Vanessa, that we can all use. And then we've got our home gym as well, that we have our evening training session. So we're real lucky. Like we have the opportunity that we can train three times a day sometimes, which is something not a lot of clubs have got.
Yeah, and it's so consistent as well. There's never a question. Like, there's always the training facility. Like, it's always there. It's always open. Like, it's always is what it says it is going to be, sort of thing.
Exactly.
And
The
obviously,
closest we get to issues is when there's another team not really been booked in or something like that, or we haven't booked something and there's like a time clash, but then we can always get another time. Like it's never been
yeah.
a major issue or something.
And worst case, there's always that other court that you use as well. Like the one in the academy, there's the one that obviously the morning court, but then there's the side court that you can use as well. So there's always an option. So that's
Exactly.
good. And obviously you use a shooting gun as well, don't you? Is it the shoot away it's called?
Yeah,
What's it
that's the
called?
one. It's the shoot away. Yeah,
Yeah.
the shoot away. That's made a big difference to me. I love using it. Some guys don't like it so much; they feel like the shot's a little different. But for me, it's been huge.
I think it changes your shot, but I think it changes it for the better because you have to shoot higher over the net. That's my theory on it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what you focus on as well. Like, if you're spending your whole time staring at this massive net that's in front of the ring, then you're not going to shoot well. But if you're able to zone that out and get on with the drill, I think it depends a little bit on your range as well. Like, if you're more of like a true center and you're only playing inside, then I think it would be more of a hassle to use it. But for sort of mid distance, anything from half a
Someone so
step outside of the
versatile
key,
like you.
has been forced on me over the last few years. But it's, you have to take a
So
step outside every now
versatile.
and again. Everyone else is getting too big.
Yeah, man. And how many shots do you take a day on that machine? Because you take a lot, or you did take a
So
lot.
yeah, I do 600 on the machine. So sorry, no, I do 500 on the machine, and I do 100 off the machine, like 3 times a week is kind of my aim. So it'd be like 150 free throws, and then would it be 300 around the key and 50 like inside the key as a warm up, and then 100 threes at the end of that.
So like, how many of the threes do you hit roughly? You know, I see from the home court out quite a lot. Enough,
Yeah,
anyway.
threes aren't my forte. Anything
No,
from, I think the best I've ever done is a little bit over 60%, and the worst is like 45%. So
it's not that
floating
bad.
somewhere between sort of 45 and 55 is right. But I don't know, training's a bit different from the game.
Yeah, well, still be able to shoot 60% of 3-pointers is
Yeah.
still pretty good. With no one there, I think I couldn't do that. Yeah, and like
You
tell
hit
us
them when
about
it
your like
matters, though, don't you?
sit man. So tell us about your free throw routine. Like what, like you get to the like you get fouled for like the 20th time in the game. Like you go into the line. Like
Well,
tell us about your routine and stuff. Like what goes through your head like when you set up and everything else. Like what? Just tell us.
well, first of all, it's not my fault that I get fouled a lot. All right, like, I can't help that.
No, of course not.
No, I don't know. There was a shot that I used to be really, I wasn't that confident about. Like I struggled a little bit just because I was so focused on what I was doing. Like I was thinking, oh, is my elbow in tight enough? Am I following through high enough? All different things like that. But I've kind of changed that, and I think that's partly come down to using the gun so much, to be honest, and just getting that repetition, just getting so much volume every day that you don't need to focus. Or I find I don't need to focus so much on the mechanics of what I'm doing because I trust my practice.
Yeah.
Like I trust my mechanics. I know how it should feel. I know how a release should feel. And I've found that if I've focused too much on thinking, oh, where's my elbow? Where's this? Where's that? Then I start to lose feeling for the shot. So it's just really been repetition and just getting confidence from that, and taking a lot of free throws in games as well. I mean, it helps that you're consistently put in this position to have to take them. Then it's not a surprise when you're there again the next game. So
Yeah.
there is a routine to it. Like I like to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to like one of these guys who spins the ball 3 times, bounces it 8 times, and puts it around their back before they shoot it. But it's like one dribble, focus on the ring, and just concentrate on follow through. Like concentrate on how the follow through feels, rather than exactly what I'm doing. That I'm focused on the right point of the ring and snap my wrist.
And he's pretty consistent at scoring.
It's all right, yeah.
You're pretty decent.
It's all right. It was around 75-ish%, I think, this season. Like training is better. Again, same thing. Like in training, I aim higher. I think my aim's about 85% for training, but games are a little bit different.
And today, you officially announced the top scorer over Dirk Pasiran. Obviously, the season was cut short, but Dirk's had a bit of a rough ride this season anyway. But yeah, it's not.
I mean, he averaged 30 a game. I think he did okay.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and tell it you're the only beat him twice or something. Like not many people have beat Dirk Pasiran's top scorer title, have they, in years or many times?
I mean, no, he's one of the best players to have ever played the game, offensively at least. Like he's unbelievable. So it's, of course, Trier. I don't know about Dirk himself. Like I wouldn't comment on that, but like Trier have obviously had a bit of a rougher ride this year. I think they've struggled to replace Mariska there. Like obviously that's helped us a lot that we managed to pick her up for the season. She's been huge for us, and that's obviously hurt Trier. Like they knocked us out of the playoffs last year, and I think it was we won the game in overtime, and then we lost the third game. But they didn't make playoffs this year, and we finished third. So it's kind of the direction the two clubs have gone a little bit this year. So, and that makes a difference for Dirk. Like if he hasn't got other guys drawing heat, like he scores 30 a game every season, but it's easier for him to do that, and he's having to take sort of less bailout shots if he's got other guys around who are doing a bit more scoring, and that's been a bit tougher for them this year.
Yeah, still makes it look good though. He's done, but I'm pleased you beat him. And
he makes it look very good. I definitely don't make it look anywhere near as good as he does.
How many points did you score this season overall? In total, sorry?
I have no idea.
Oh, you have no idea?
Come
on, stats, man. You must know.
31 point something a game. I don't know. I'll Google it if you want, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Google it.
There are 2 more, I think, than Dirk.
2 more. That's
no, we
right.
both had 40 something in the last game of the season. So
cool. We was going to play a video now, but for copyright reasons, we are not allowed. Because you had a nice picture of Joe, but a little bit funny, but we're not allowed to use it. So that section's out. So we're going to go to questions from Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if there's any on the YouTube, but the first question is from Mariska Bayer, and it is, what is your hair care routine?
My hair care routine is wash it once a day and hope for the best.
Good.
And use a lot of hairspray in game days.
Awesome. There you go. It's good to know.
Yeah.
From Mark Bison, who is your favourite British player in Germany apart from yourself?
Well, I think I'm limiting my options now, but of course it's Mark. He's a pseudo-British player anyway.
He's not British.
You didn't know Mark was British? Scottish.
No, he probably told me, but I switch off sometimes when Mark spoke to me.
Whether you meant to or not.
Yeah.
No, he's half Scottish, I think.
All right. And then from Charlie Mack, who is our youngest player from High Rollers, what advice would you give to a young basketball player, like a younger Joe Bestwick, say like 30 years younger?
Spend more time doing prehab when you're younger, because it hurts like hell starting doing it when you're old. Like all this boring stuff that the old guys tell you to do, and you just think they're talking rubbish. They're not talking rubbish. Listen to them, because it makes a difference. Yeah. Stuff would hurt a lot less now if I'd done a bit more of that stuff. Watch video. Watch as much video as you can. Like something as well. When I was a kid, I didn't spend any time really watching video. Like I wasn't that interested in it, and I wish I had done that. Like I wish I'd gone through the juniors and stuff. I wish I knew more about the game, more about the guys who are playing. Yeah. That, and just, I know, take in as much as you can from the guys that are around you. Like you can't control your environment that much. You can't control who plays on your team and stuff, particularly when you're young. But there's going to be guys around you who are more experienced. Who, they might not be world champions. They might be, but whatever anyone's got who's got more experience, and you take it in, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, then bin it, and if it does, then run with it.
Good advice. And Charlie does do prehab. He's the only one in our club because the rest of us are old and there's no hope. But he's the only one with it. Yeah, but Charlie does do his prehab. The few other, well, we all could still do some, but Charlie's doing it for the rest of us, so we're all right.
Good man.
Yeah. A question from the YouTube page. What do you think of Dylan Cummins' commentary? And the question is from Dylan Cummins. So,
all right, Dylan. Yeah, Dylan does a great job. He is enthusiastic. He's by far the most enthusiastic commentator I've ever heard at a wheelchair basketball game, and his knowledge is really good. And you can tell that he really loves the game. That he loves being around it. He loves getting to know the people that are involved. And I don't think you need to have played at a good level to be a good commentator. You just need to know the sport, and you need to know the characters who are involved, and you need to know your history, and he does that. And I think he's going to keep getting better as well. Like he knows his stuff.
Good. He thinks you're crap. No, I'm joking.
That wouldn't surprise me.
One more question. Where is it? From Rui Pedro. What qualities does a team leader need to have, and why? Rui Pedro, the Portuguese guy.
I think it's a tough one. So I think, well, the answer, I guess, is it is a tough question, but it depends on the team, because different kinds of teams need different kinds of leaders, and different individuals within the team need different leaders or need different things from their leaders. So I think the flexibility and the empathy to know your teammates and to know what they need from you and know how to handle them, it's something that I'm really not good at. And learning that has been probably my biggest challenge since I've been at United. Like learning that not everyone responds well to the Murray Tressida approach of just shout at people till they get it right. Like different characters need different things, and if you can get to know your teammates a little bit and understand, you don't need to be everyone's best friend. Like at the end of the day, you're there to do a job if you're playing in a professional team, but you need to know what makes them tick. You need to know when they need their buttons pressing, when they need a rocket, when they need an arm, and it's a really difficult skill to learn. But I think that's the biggest thing, just that empathy and that understanding of people.
Yeah, and I think that's important what you said as well. Like, you don't need to be friends. Like, you don't like. Yes, off court stuff is really important, but like, as long as you play basketball and are on the same page with basketball, you don't technically have to like enjoy the same things as those people, or like your whole teammates. Like, you can still have a really good team without all having to enjoy going to the pub or whatever. You can have a really, I think that is important.
You need to have an understanding, and you need to have an acceptance of each other. I think like I don't know, if you've got one guy who's super strict and super focused and he's getting pissed all the time that the other guys are just partying all the time. Like, there needs to be a bit of a balance there. There needs to be enough commonality that you're not just screwing at each other all the time. But you don't need to be best friends. You don't need to want to, I don't know, go on holidays with each other's family and stuff like that. I think club basketball, I don't know if you're playing like a third or fourth league and it's your hobby and it's fun, then I think that's a little bit different. But particularly in a professional team, like if you want to be successful, you need the best people around you. They don't need to be your best friends necessarily. It helps, but it's not essential.
Yeah. Off court stuff's important. Like, especially in Hanover as well. It's cool. They've got a club called Dax, which is awesome.
It's not awesome.
It is awesome.
Definitely
no
not.
Way except it definitely is. You can't say.
You may have got very different tastes about a good club, but
yeah, agreed. Again, don't have to like everything that your teammates like, but you can still play decent basketball.
Exactly. But you're completely right, though.
It's a shame we haven't got the video, because I took a few clips from the Trier game from the quarterfinals, and there's one play where there's 1 second to get it over the halfway line. Haller passes me the ball, and I do a behind the head pass. I'm trying to pass it to Stabler, who, if he knew I was going to make the pass, he would have been in the right place. But he didn't know I was going to make the pass. But he did have the lane. If you watch the video carefully, like, it was a good pass. Just stab.
I know exactly the clip you mean. I've seen it. I'm not convinced you knew that he was making that move. I'm not convinced you knew where he was. I think you were just slinging it over your shoulder. There's no way you made that read.
100%.
No look, over the shoulder, full court pass.
Yep.
You just wanted it out of your hands.
No way. I could see him coming. Trust me. And if not, you can win the
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll do this again when we get the correct videos and stuff, and we can maybe have a disagreement on where I tell you where you went wrong.
There won't be a disagreement.
You're right, I'll be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, mate, whatever. So, what else have we got in here before we have an argument? I'm joking. Some more questions from Dylan Cummins. I think you've riled him up. No, I'm joking. He says, what does it take to become such a good scorer, considering you are the top scorer of the German league as of today?
I think work ethic is one of the things. Like, if you're not working consistently, you're not going to be able to achieve anything. But also that depends on the individual. You can have guys who are just unbelievable shooters. Like, if you look at someone like Terry Bywater, he can literally roll up off a 2-month holiday and start making threes from the halfway line. Like, if I have a 2-month holiday, I'm not hitting the backboard from the 3-point line. Like, there's different people need to do different things. Like, some guys have that ability and some guys don't. Like, for me, I have to train a lot. I have to work really hard, because that's where I get my confidence from. Other guys get their confidence from different places. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things.
Do you think Terry, but like you said, he might have a 2-month holiday. Do you think he actually has a 2-month holiday? Like you say, he can come back from a 2-month holiday.
I think he's good at, I mean, I don't know, but I would say that if you want to have been playing internationally, was he 16 when he went to Sydney?
Yeah.
Like, so he's been playing year in, year out, every season, every summer. Like, you don't get 4 or 5 week breaks there. He's not had any real horrific injuries. Like, he's had niggles here and there, I think he does a really good job of managing himself, and he doesn't. People take the mick out of him when he's at a training camp and he's like, "No, I'm out of this one." It's like, "Oh, Terry's sitting out a session again. Terry's this thing." But he doesn't care because he looks after himself.
Yeah, and he's still playing, and he's still got plenty
So
of time.
exactly,
He doesn't look any.
there aren't that many
point of
guys
slowing
that have been
down.
doing international games that long.
Yeah,
And at that level
All right.
as well. Like, he's not like he's a bit part player.
Some more questions from my assistant Victor and Rui. Shame I can't read properly. Dylan Cummings, what would you
Stick your glasses on.
I have been told I should probably get some, and I think that is part of the problem. Because I'm like, yeah. Anyway,
Definitely should.
So another question from Dylan Cummings: would you consider obtaining German citizenship to play for a national team or for the German national team?
I mean, I don't know. It's not something that's on the table at the minute, but I don't know, it's something I'd think about. Like, why not? I'm not involved in GB anymore. That it wasn't my choice to not be involved in GB. So, but the minute the Germans have got a good team, that would be up to Nick, up to them. Like, it's something I've talked about. Like, it's common knowledge of, well, I don't know how common it is, but it was in an interview over here and on the newspapers. Like, I'm applying for German citizenship anyway. Like, I'm going through that process, but that's not a basketball decision. That's a life and family decision. And with Brexit, and without getting too political, but
calm down,
the mess that's potentially made of me traveling back and forth and visiting family and everything else, it was sensible for me. I've lived here long enough. I'm married to a German. My daughter's German. Like, this is home for the foreseeable future. And I think it made sense from a family and a life perspective for me to look at getting citizenship. So not give up my British passport, but apply for dual citizenship. And if that leads somewhere, then I'll have a decision to make. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. Like, either I've got 3 summers with the family or I don't. Both are pretty cool.
Okay, and there's a question from Mariska Bayer again. What is your favorite quarantine workout? Looks at that. I think I just saw it.
Yeah, Mariska knows exactly what it is. I'm going a little bit stir crazy because I can't go to the gym and I can't do any of my training and stuff. And I don't mind taking a break when I've chosen to take a break, but this is obviously it isn't my decision. So it's winded me up a little bit. So I decided I was going to learn something new. And as I'm ridiculously inflexible and heavy and old and I've got knackered shoulders, I thought handstands would be a good idea. So I crack at that, and I'm doing some handstands as part of my training. I'm doing other bits as well. Like, we have a big lake right by my house here. I'm pushing laps around that every couple of days, about 7.5 kilometers. Doing stuff at home, like with TheraBands and with weighted vests and things, but the handstands are good fun.
Yeah.
I'm only posting the good ones, though. The outtakes are too painful. I've still got the bruises.
Oh, come on, man. That'll get you the views you want.
You want to see me landing on my head?
A lot more than anything else, yes, like you can imagine.
Maybe I'll send you the video later.
Please do. I'll put it on my Instagram within about 3 seconds of you sending it to me.
Absolutely not, then.
1 second. What can I ask you to talk about while he's... Oh, yeah, question from Rui. Do you miss Jack Gibbs? I bet you do.
That is a very varied question. Training has definitely got a different atmosphere without Jack there. Sometimes that's a positive thing, and most of the time that's a negative thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's as frustrating as you could be at times. There was never a boring training session. Like, and while to be honest, I don't know if I've told you it before, but something I really loved about when you came into the club, like, you were the new guy there, obviously, but that just made no difference. Like, if you disagreed with something, you would be respectful, depending on whether you were talking to Martin or me, but you would just say, like, no, I don't think that's right. Or you wouldn't just like sit in a corner quietly and think, no, I'm the new guy or whatever, I'm just going to toe the line. You're like, no, if I have I've played this game for long enough. I've played at a high enough level. I've played in different professional teams. I've played in England. You've been around the GB setup. Like, if you've got an opinion, you know what your opinion is worth.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that you just didn't hold anything back, really. Or maybe you held a little bit back, but you didn't hold everything back.
No. It's basketball, man. Like you say about being the new person, I was new to the club, yeah, but I wasn't new to basketball. Like it's just, it's just basketball, man. Like it's just opinions. Everyone has opinions on basketball. It doesn't mean everyone's right. Like a play has so many different ways it can pan out, and you can have opinions. It doesn't mean one of them's right or wrong. Like it's just, it panned out like that. But this could be right or this could be wrong. But again, you'd probably tell me I'm wrong.
Exactly. No, with this one you're right. That's fine. I'll let you have that one. How did you find Hanover though, compared? Because obviously you've played in a few different places. So how did it compare for you for like other clubs in England or in Europe? Or
I think, I've played at 3 different clubs, and I think Hanover is by far the best club I've seen. But it's also like not only have I played basketball like for these clubs, I've travelled around playing basketball not for clubs, but seen other clubs' facilities like in various places in the world, and Hanover got it good, like very good, and especially with the academy. Like I know that's the accommodation is only for Germans, but like if to hold training camps or whatever there, like you can do anything you need to do there in regards to basketball in Hanover, like anything. It's all the facilities are there and they're perfect, apart from the tiny little step into the academy that I get stuck on every time I went to training. So it's only like this big, but it'd mess me up if I had my chair with me for whatever reason.
It's enough at 7:30 in the morning.
Yes, definitely. Knowing that you're going to be inside the gym.
So what's changed since you've left as well is we're now officially partnered with the this Niedersächsische Basketballverband, so it's like the regional basketball association. So it means all of the professional teams, all of the able-bodied development. So the 3-on-3 guys that used to train before us in the morning, some of the days, like their coach is a part of that association, and we're linked in with that whole association now. So I think Haller's getting like a seat in their office and stuff like that. So he'll have an office to work out of when he's doing the club stuff, not just Udo's office. And there's that bringing that community tighter together. He works from home.
Quick, before I forget, I need that 3-on-3 guys that used to train in the morning. You need to get me that dude's number or whatever, because they're 3-on-3 guys, and that's what we do. So I need his number or his Instagram or whatever, please.
Remind me later. I'll get you on that.
I'll just have to watch this back. That's when I remind you. Got a few more questions. Some we can't repeat. And some were in relation to the video that we're not allowed to play. Like one was, because there was obviously the picture where you've got all your hair out and stuff, and it says, when did you decide you wanted to be a WWE wrestler? And that's from Coach Carlos. But
the hair was genuinely because Murray, the old GB coach that you obviously know very well as well, wouldn't let us have anything except for a shaved head.
So you rebelled.
I'd always wanted it a bit longer. Whereas as soon as he was gone, basically I was like, right, I'm growing this. And
I didn't know that
as soon as he left, like you came in the team, you got your head shaved, and then when it started getting over a certain length, that it wasn't a rule as such, but he would encourage the older, bigger guys, whatever, to shave your head if it got to something he wasn't so happy with.
Yeah, I wish you get Muzz on here. That'd be cool. Right. He's got some wisdom to share.
I'm sure he'd have something to share.
Yeah, he still haunts me.
Do you think he'd be repeatable?
Yeah, absolutely. He's all right. He's all right.
He's some questionable decisions, but I think the feeling behind it was usually the right one, but just maybe the methods were a bit questionable.
Yeah, and a question from Haller. How much do you like the Spice Girls?
I like them the least. Didn't like them anymore before you arrived. I like them even less now you've left. So thank you very much for that, Jack. You've ruined the British institution.
I'm still trying to troll you behind closed doors. I tried to add Spice Girls to the Hanover playlist and stuff just to mess your day up.
No, you didn't try. You did. Our
cool.
training was full of it one day. It got skipped. It was fine, but yeah. All it did was annoy Martin that somebody had to go and keep skipping the track mid-training.
Sorry, Martin. Didn't mean that was unintentional. I was hoping to ruin your shooting workout or something in the morning. That was my main intention.
No, it just made me smile fondly remembering you.
Oh, bollocks. Well, sorry, I've got to look at my phone.
All good.
Did you watch the USA Championship final?
No.
Fuck's sake. All right.
I
Basically,
know that New York lost.
Yeah, against Jason.
And then Jason Nelms had a 30-point game, but
Yes,
I didn't
he did.
see the game. No.
Pretty good. You should watch it. You've got plenty of time on your hands.
Yeah.
So watch it while doing a
Who's
handstand.
Nelms' team? Dallas. What do you mean I've got time on my hands? I have a 2-year-old. There's no time.
There is. What did you say about
Definitely
Dallas?
not.
What did you say about Dallas?
Dallas was the other team, though, right?
Yeah, Dallas.
Okay.
They've got a player called
With Big Bobby Nickelberry.
Legend, yes.
Is he your idol, just by the way?
No, but I've been watching him for a long, long time. And I think he's awesome. I think he can teach a lot of fast forwards, a lot of tricks, and a lot of techniques and stuff, because obviously he's not that fast, but he can really do a job. And I think
Have you got a chance
to
play against him at any of these 3-on-3 things?
No, I haven't. But I'd like to see him up in Europe, see how he'd play in Europe or something. Just see it, put him in that different environment. But against Steve Sirio and Pat Anderson, he does a great job. But obviously, and David Eng, so that is a decent team, just them three alone. But I'd love to see him in the
what's the
European
difference between those three and the other two guys that are on court? Though, I've got no idea who the rest of that team is. So,
as you know, it's always one pointers to let things down. So it's they've got obviously they've got Pat Anderson, so he's being defended by most people, and then they've got Steve Sirio and David Eng to worry about. So the one pointer they're not worried about, and the other guy is I don't know if I'm honest, which is not cool, but yeah. And then on the Dallas team, I think you just got a team like a real team, like they're a legit team that've been playing a while together, and they all probably train together, all on the same page, and you can tell they play some really decent basketball. And they've got Jason Nelms as their coach and 30 points in the final guy. So that's why they got Jason Nelms, and he's a decent coach from what I've heard. So anyway, tell us about the home court app, because obviously you use that. How does that help your game and what you do? And tell us about that.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person. It's not going to be something that helps everybody, but I train a lot. It's something that interests me. Training generally interests me. How I can make little improvements and stuff. And home court is basically a shot tracking app. So when I wasn't using an app, then I'd keep a record and write it down what I shot every session, so I knew out of my 500 what I was making. That was something actually from Murray that he always made us track. Whenever we were doing a shooting drill, we had to track it and send our numbers off for our diary and stuff like that. And it's just gotten a habit from that I always wanted to know where I was at, and possibly true. Yeah.
Sorry.
You think that was the main reason?
Lots of reasons. For many reasons, but
I don't think that was even in the top 5, mate.
No? I'd love to know.
No, I don't think so. Am I allowed to say?
Oh, has he got a top 5?
I'm sure he does somewhere, but I'm pretty sure I could take a guess.
Obviously, the band's probably number 1, right? We put that at number 1, yeah?
Well, I was going to say, do you remember the meeting that you were in where you started talking about the Himalayan monks that you'd ordered some?
Yeah.
I'd say that would be on the list somewhere.
Awesome. That was a good day. I remember that. Yeah. I was thinking, I need to tell them about these tablets, because I bought my fee band. They say they're legit, but will this get me banned? But anyway, can't talk about that now.
Shutting the gate after the horses bolted, that was, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, home court.
Yeah, back to home court before you ruin my whole image.
No. I used to count all my shots anyway. But then I wasn't sure, like, all right, well, what spot is it that's letting me down? And I actually saw there was some able-bodied guys who had posted some videos, and I wasn't sure what app it was they were using. And then one of them had it was watermarked in the bottom corner. And I had a little look, and it's this home court app, and you could download it, and it's free to use if you only track 1,000 shots a month. And then actually right now during quarantine, while this whole situation's going on, the whole professional pack of the app is free. So you can get all of the drills. It has helped, so totally free for the professional version at the moment. Steve Nash helped develop it. It's loads of ball handling drills. It's fitness drills. It's different kinds of shooting drills. There's all kinds of things with videos of like coaching segments within it. Like, I don't know, shooting floaters, shooting fadeaways, all kinds of different things. And there's little games within that. There's leaderboards for free throws, for threes, for quick release shots, and all kinds of things. But so I don't use 90% of the things that the app can do. Like, I just literally use it I do my shooting session. I use it to track that. And then if you have the professional version, you can track your speed of release. You can track your speed off the dribble. You can track the angle of the release of your shot. So you can, if you have a session and you're like, oh, I shot like shit today, and you think, well, why was that? And then, maybe you were just tired, or maybe you hadn't eaten enough, or you weren't focused, or whatever. But you can look back and you can see if, okay, well, every time I shoot badly, I actually shoot 5 degrees or 10 degrees flatter than I normally shoot. And things like that I find really interesting. Like, I don't normally geek out about basketball. It's not something that I get super involved in, like sort of minute details of watching video. But about our team is different. Like, preparing for our team and for our games is one thing, but for, I don't know, watching hundreds of hours of NBA games and stuff is, I don't know, it just doesn't interest me. I haven't got the time, and it doesn't interest me that much. But watching things like that where I'm thinking, all right, well, what did my release look different, or was there a different angle, or was I shooting a little bit too quickly? Because obviously you work to try and increase the speed of your release, but if you've suddenly increased it way too much and you're just catching and throwing the ball up there, then your shot's going to suffer. So I use it to look at little things like that, and just to see about my consistencies and what I can tweak, what I can make a little bit better, particularly for something like free throws. Like, have I got a trend for where I'm missing? Like, am I missing left or short or things like that? Yeah. And it means I don't have to count the numbers all the time.
You said something to me once early on when I was at Hanover. You said something about shooting. Like, if you miss, don't think you've got to like reassess your whole life. Like, if you've hit like 4 shots and you miss a shot, like don't beat yourself up too much. And that stuck with me. And I think because you think, oh, I'm getting hot, and then what went wrong, or you're just not making a couple of shots, but you're generally hot. Like, you don't have to re-evaluate your life in your shot. Like, just take a breath, start, like, reset, just stick with it. Like, you know what you're doing, and that always stuck with me. I'm like, just stick with your shot. Like, obviously you have to tweak it, but trust in it. Like, trust yourself. Like,
if you look at somebody like, a lot of the guys who are maybe watching this might not have heard of Matt Byrne, but he's one of the, like, you'll have obviously known from the GB days. Like, he was an unbelievably good shooter as a 1-5. Shot basically two-handed. Like, he had a horrible technique, but he's super, super consistent with his shot, and had range. I mean, when he was healthy, he had range as well. And it wasn't a technically good shot, but it was super efficient. Like, it worked really well for him. Like, he could somehow get it over people when they were jumping out and pressuring him. Like, it doesn't have to be some sort of textbook shot for it to, like some swan neck with your elbow in, for it to work. It's a bit different maybe if you're a 14-year-old kid and you're just coming up. It looks pretty. My shot does not look pretty. I want to make that clear. Like, it's effective but not pretty.
You robot.
But if you're a 14-year-old kid, it's a little bit different. Then you need to focus on a bit of technique, and you can't just javelin pass the ball at the ring for the next 30 years. Like, you need to look at technique, and you need to work at things, but to a degree, you also need to know what feels good. Yeah.
And have you tried the ball handling agility drill on it since you're in quarantine? Probably not, no.
Nah. No, I haven't even got a basketball at home.
You're disgusting, man. This is the reason I don't like you. Like, this is why I don't like you.
Why?
You ain't
I
got a
tell you what,
basketball at
this is
home?
one of the no. Why?
Oh,
I haven't
mate.
got a basket. What am I going to do with a basketball? I can't score here.
Yeah, this is it. This is why we'll always disagree. For this
No, and
fundamental
genuinely,
reason.
part of the reason is last season was the first time, like it was 2 seasons ago, that I got sort of dropped from GB, retired or whatever. But I'd still planned to train the whole summer. Like as far as I knew, I had GB stuff ahead of me. And then last
Yeah,
summer was actually the first time that I ever had a break from basketball where I was like, I knew beforehand, all right, you're going to get a break now, and you've got nothing to focus on until the next season. And since I was a teenager, I'd never had that. Like I'd never just had time off. You know, it was always national team or it was a league season or it was
oh,
something. And just that, I didn't really know what to do with that time. And I sat down with Martin, like with the Hanover coach, and he asked what my plans were. And I said, oh, I'm going to do this training and that training. And I'll maybe take a couple of days off here and a couple of days off there. He said, no. Like you're taking at least a month off. It's like, no,
yeah,
zero chance. I've never done it before. Like I won't, I've never done it. Like what if I come back and I'm terrible? Like, no, I'm not doing it. And he just told me he was going to lock my chair up in the academy and that was going to be the end of it. Like I wouldn't get at my chair.
yeah.
So we
I think
compromised and we agreed on 2 weeks. And in the end, I took off 10 weeks. Like, I didn't touch a basketball for 10 weeks. And it was amazing.
mm,
Like, I kept training, I kept lifting. Like, I was going to the gym 5 or 6 times a week and I was doing fitness stuff, but just not like having that mental break from basketball. And you don't forget how to shoot a basketball. Like, I don't recommend taking off 10 weeks right before the season starts. Like, just rock up to the first game having not done a thing. But if you have the opportunity to take that break, it's good. And I don't know, but I've got the feeling that advice is going to put a few years on my career.
and I think Corona season is going to put a few years on a few people like Abdi and like for his body to rest. Like
Absolutely.
because like you say, he can shoot like and he can do everything he needs to do, but he'll always be able to shoot and he'll be able to do that for another 5-6 years. Like as
Yeah.
long as and with this rest, I think it can be that might be the best thing that's ever happened to some players, like to like give them some longevity in
For
their
those
career.
older guys, 100%. Like if you look at
And
guys like, I don't know, Gaz, like particularly somebody like Abdi, because you know what it's like as a low pointer
yeah,
traveling that much. Like he's living in Spain half the season, back in Liverpool, family commitments in Liverpool, GB commitments in Sheffield, like club commitments in Spain, and just the traveling and it's different as a low pointer doing that sort of travel than it is as an able-bodied or a 4-5 or whatever. Like it just takes it out of you,
yeah,
and it'll take at some point. It's taking years off your months or whatever off your career. The longer you do that, and
possibly your
absolutely,
life.
just having genuinely, like maybe, like it's just having that time at home though. Like just have these people or these guys who've spent years and years just being away with national teams, like spending whole summers away from their families. I remember Kev Hayes telling me, one of the old GB one pointers, that I think it was before Sydney. His daughter was born like 1 or 2 days before the Sydney Olympic, or the
Yeah,
Paralympics, and he just jumped on a plane like 2 days later, and he was gone, and he missed like the first month of her life. And the
wow.
amount of these sacrifices that people are making, the strain that puts on their bodies, on relationships, all these things. Everyone's just got this enforced, like, who knows how long, like month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months,
Yeah,
but just this free summer basically where they can actually, get some credit in the bank with families. They can just rest. They can look after
that's it, man.
themselves, and it will make a big difference. Like, I don't know, Gaz and Terry and Abdi, or guys, obviously we're talking about British guys, but these slightly older guys like that who have been around for a while, they're not going to forget how to shoot the ball in the next six
Or how
weeks.
to play. Like
No,
everything's
absolutely.
on stop. Like it's where it's on. Everything's on pause. It's not like that because they're on lockdown. The rest of the world and like everyone's on pause. Like yes, if you can
Yeah.
train, fair enough. But there's no point training. In my opinion, there's no point training as hard as you possibly can when there's no light at the end of the tunnel yet. Like they should, and
It
yourself
depends
should
what you're doing.
make the
Like,
most of that rest. Like make the most of it.
yeah,
I'd say. And even the younger kids
it
like
depends
Greg,
what else
like.
you have.
Now,
Like,
what would
if
you
you're,
suggest Greg to do? Like in this situation, he's stuck at home. Like, should he be trying to keep like how he needs to like prehab or whatever? But other than that, like just relax. as much as you can.
Relax to a point, yeah. I think it's a balance, and it depends on your personality type as well. Like, I know that if I'm not doing any training, then I'm starting to go a bit stir crazy because it's been a habit for so long. Like, I'm starting to get a bit snappy. I know I won't sleep as well because I don't know. I've been doing this a long time. Like, I don't sleep if I'm not training. Like, I need to have that physical outlet to I don't know, just burn off some energy and I can't go for a run. So what am I going to do? Like, I need to train, or I'll go for a push, or do something like that. And I think the same for those guys like Greg. It depends on your personality type. Like, some guys can really switch off, and if that's what's right for them, do your prehab. Like, look after yourself. Don't put on 40 kilos, but like, take the time to have a mental and a physical break. But some people need more to keep themselves ticking over than other people do.
Yeah.
And maybe it means making some lifestyle changes as well. Like, I don't know, if you're used to eating 4,000 calories a day because you train 3 times a day, all of a sudden you're not training. Or if you train 3 times a week and you're still eating 4,000 calories a day.
But not anymore because I can't get the food I want. Like, but it's good.
Well, all the takeaways are shut.
Yeah, the ones I want to go to, I can't get. McDonald's, basically. I've been craving a McDonald's, I won't lie. Can't get one.
Oh, you don't
anyway.
want a list of Donna?
No, I don't. Right, moving on.
You suddenly look so sad.
Yeah, moving on. We have to end the stream. What else? Let me have a look at my phone quickly. Sorry. Getting hungry now. Yeah, it's over, mate. We're done. Need to make some calls and get some food. No, I'm joking. Let me have a look at the YouTube and see what's going on there. Oh, sorry. That's what Rupert said don't do.
Well done.
Yep. Oh, I've got 15 people watching. That's not bad.
Go on.
Yeah. And like, this is obviously just the start of what we're doing. We've got lots of other interviews lined up and people testing for their connection. And obviously we had a few logistical problems today with you, but that's the first time we've experienced that because it's always been smooth. So I'm blaming you as per usual, and you're blaming our system.
That's 100% fine by me. Now, I'll take that blame. If I'm screwing with you, I'm happy.
No, exactly.
I know one question's popped up here from Hanover United. What's the memory being teammates with the Jack Gibbs? So I'd say there's 2, and there's one is the amazing cafe that you found for in between shooting and lifting, which I still go to. Well, up until everything like the world shut down,
Bieber Fresh.
I was still going to 3 times a week. Yeah,
the best chocolate croissants I've ever had, man.
Yeah, I've never had one of their croissants. It's the soup.
There you go. Yeah, the soup's amazing. Like, the croissants are
I thought you were being ridiculous when you got so excited about soup. I was like, who gives this much of a shit about soup? But
fat people.
Yeah. Chocolate croissant, I can understand, but it's soup. But I will hold my hands up and say I was wrong and you were right, and that soup is amazing, man. Like, we go there regularly. I've taken takeout soup home to Dana because I've been so excited about how good the soup was. Like that, and you were banging the 3 against Turingen in Turingen, and next play, what happened next play?
I come down thinking I was Kobe Bryant and shot another 3 because they didn't defend me, and I shot an air ball. I will never forget it. And Martin wasn't there either because he was sick. No, his baby was being born. Damn, I don't remember her name. His baby. Livy. Yeah, and I shot an air ball 3, like, ridiculous. Now, I think Jake Williams said something as well, like, do I have to defend him? And I think someone's like, no. I was like, I'm definitely shooting this. And then I airballed it. I don't think it even hit the bottom of the net. Like, it didn't even nothing. Yeah, career highlight that.
You smashed a 3 in Turingen. We're coming back at that point as well, I think, weren't we? Not for long, but
I killed the momentum pretty quick. Don't worry.
No.
Well, what else
picked us up just to drop us back down.
Yeah. Rui, how is it to play with Mariska, one of the best female players in the world? Good question.
Mariska's awesome. Like
Yeah.
she gives us so much. Like particularly, I mean, as a 4-pointer, she would help any team out. Never mind with the women's bonus. The fact that she plays as a 2-5 is it's almost unfair that I think that somebody like almost like it isn't, but it's almost unfair that someone as good as Mariska can get that 1.5 bonus because like she's somebody who could 100% play as her classification in a predominantly men's league 100%. Like
Yeah.
she's awesome for
Agreed.
us. She's been in a tricky situation, I think, to a degree this season because obviously her role is with us is very different to her role with the national team. Like her role with the
Yeah.
national team is if you touch the ball, you're shooting it. Like you
Yeah.
are 30 points a game dominant forward, and we use her as a 2-5 a lot more. Like she's a guard for us. So sometimes she'll be playing in the dive for me or on the weak side. Sometimes she's playing in the middle. Sometimes she's playing on the wing and she's an outside shooter. Like there's a lot more ball handling involved. So I think
Okay.
that's a difficult situation for her. Also because that wasn't obviously her playing at Trier last year. Everything goes through Passivan. Like everything that happens starts and normally finishes with him. So to come from that team where she touched the ball relatively little to come to us where she's suddenly expected to do a million different things all at once is very, very different. And I think that's difficult. I know I struggled a lot coming here and having a completely different role to my role at Landale. Like not necessarily minutes, but what positions you're expected to take up on the court is different. Like it is difficult to learn that. And despite that, like I think she's done a great job. Like the fact that we have a rotation between her and Jan Haller, for example, or we can play both of them without a 1-pointer on the court has given us some real flexibility, and
Perfect.
I think it's going to help Netherlands as well. Like the fact that she is able to develop a more varied game with us, I think has got to be a good thing for her national team as well. Like if she's suddenly a threat from outside, from inside, and as a ball handler, then that makes them even more difficult to stop if that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you just mentioned Jan Haller. Obviously, you've been playing with him since Landil days, and now in
Yeah,
Hanover, and he's the German national captain. Like, obviously, that's an honour for you to play alongside Jan Haller, like for so long. What's he taught you
I
along the
couldn't be
way?
more honoured to play with Jan. Nah,
What's
Jan's
he taught
cool.
you along the way? Tell us.
He has taught me how to be patient.
That's
He has taught.
a polite
Nah,
cup.
yeah, I thought so too. No, Jan's awesome, man. Like he's someone who he cops a lot of shit. Like it tends to be like if I'm mad at someone, then it doesn't really matter who it is, but Jan is going to wear it, and like for better or worse, like it is Jan's job almost to take that sometimes, and it's because I know he can take it. Like he's built a little bit like me there. Like he gets emotionally involved, he gets riled up, he gets rattled, he wants to like he gets angry when he plays sometimes. Like level might be slightly different, but and how he expresses it might be different. But he's a guy who's been around for a long time. Like you think there are games. Pretty sure is it Germany GB from London where he was just banging shots from the free throw line, and he's been around for a long time. Like there's a reason that he's the captain of the national team. You know, he's well respected over here. Like for a 2-pointer to have that sort of scoring potential. I mean, and he's not a standard 2-pointer either. Like he's not some little guy who's just sat on the wing knocking down shots. Like he's big, he's long, he can use his size to defend big guys. Like
Blocks.
it's
Block party.
yeah, exactly. Like surprising blocks as well that you think, nah, he's not reaching that, and then he does. Like, and he's a
Yeah.
great teammate as well. He's a good guy to have in a team.
He's my
Shitty
favourite
taste
person
in
to go
football
backs
club,
with.
but really not Agris.
No, everyone, to be honest. I bloody love that place. Anyway, we don't need to talk about Dax.
You've got terrible taste.
So moving, it's promo time. Not promo time, but basically we've got people that are giving us stuff and sending us stuff. So I'm just pretend you're not here, Joe. You definitely ain't going to want any of these because they're basketball things. Put your rock music on or something and zone out for a sec. So anyone that's watching, this is some stuff that we've been sent, and we can show you. And if you want any of it, you can ask us the details. This is a Kobe sticker in the, oh God, this way.
Well done, there you
go. A Kobe sticker made by someone called Zermillion, in the shape of the NBA thing. And it's a sticker, obviously, get a sticker where you want. And a fridge magnet in the Lakers colors. So yeah, if you want any of this stuff, let us know. And Venice hats that you saw the other day, if you watched. They say something pretty cool on the sticker, actually. It says, leader of generation.
There's one size fits all.
No, it says leaders of the generation or something like that, which is pretty cool. And then we've got high roller key rings that double up with a trolley key. Maybe we should get some high rollers anti-back. That's what we need right now. And we've got high rollers t-shirts as well. If anyone wants one, probably don't, but you're not going to be able to see that. You can't see the logos on there. So yeah, we've got some stuff if you want us to send you anything, because there's nothing else exciting going on in the world apart from Corona, and that's not cool. Let us know. Have you got anything else to say, Joe? Any advice to give to young players, old players? Any advice to give anyone?
Old players, take as many breaks as you can.
Good advice. And for young players, any last little clip, anything to say?
Talk to the old guys, watch video. Don't just watch new video either. Watch old video. Like, look at games from '96, look at games from 2000. Like, I know the game has changed and that there are differences in how the game's played now, how it was played. I don't know if you look at videos of a guy like Joe Giratney and Nige Smith and these guys, the chairs were nothing like what they are now. There's no strap and there's no anti-tip. Like, it looks completely different, but just because the game has moved on doesn't mean that some of the skills and some of the reads that those guys make aren't completely relevant to the game now as well. Like, don't limit yourself just by watching the last year's Champions Cup final or something. Like, expand your knowledge and look back into the history of the game.
And ask questions of your coaches and players. Always discuss.
Exactly. Don't just accept things as fact. Like, if you want to know the game better, always ask why. Like, get the reasoning behind why you're doing things. Don't screw up a training session by asking in the middle of the session, maybe, but try and understand why you're doing this drill. Like, what is the in-game benefit of this?
Yeah, we were going to try and keep it short today, but there's too much information. Like, you're talking about drills with purpose. Like people are doing chair skills at home, things like that. Like, something Haj Barney taught me early on was always do your chair skills like there's someone behind you, like, or in front of you. Like, you're playing basketball when you're doing those drills. You're not just going left, going right, going forward, going backwards. Like, you're practicing a move, like defending a player. So, and that's, I don't see enough people do. I'm not even sure if you do it, but I think it's so important. Like, you have to practice shouting. You have to practice looking back. You might look a bit mental in the park shouting left back. Yeah, I've got this guy going left, going right. But it depends how far you want to take it. Like, who cares if you look a bit stupid practicing it? Like, who cares? Like, you're practicing to be one of the best players in the world. You have to train like you're playing a game all the time. Like, now, Corona season, no, you don't. But, like, not normally. I think not enough people do that.
Yeah. The communication is one of the biggest ones. Like, it's, I mean, you know yourself how different it is if you're doing just something like, I don't know, Christmas trees or suicides, or it doesn't matter what it is. But if you're shouting and talking the entire time you're doing that, then it's 10 times harder than if you're just doing it with your mouth shut and keeping silent. But you're not silent in the game, so why would you do chair skills silent? And it's something that that's a little corner that it's so easy to cut. It's so easy just to not bother doing that because you feel a bit dumb or it sounds stupid or what's the point or whatever. But it's the most game realistic way of doing it. And I mean, she sounds absolutely ridiculous, but Vanessa at Hanover sings when we're doing chair skills. She doesn't know the words to most of the songs. She isn't necessarily in tune, and she forgets what song she's singing halfway through and has to keep swapping and changing, and it winds everybody up. But she's doing the right thing. Like, it's making her better, especially as a one-pointer where you've got ropey lung function at the best of times. Like if you're able to sing in the kindest possible way, like while you're doing chess skills, then you're making yourself a better player.
I'd be shouting louder than her if I was there just to drown her out, just to let you know. That'd do my
I'd-
head in. I'd either quit
I almost
or
wish
something
you
had to be
were.
done about it. I wouldn't be able to deal with that.
Yeah, like I've got a lovely
Much I
bunch
like
of
Vanessa, I
coconuts
couldn't
while
deal
you're
with
trying
that.
to do. No.
Okay, so yeah, because I feel like again, same with Dylan Cummings and other people. Like basketball minds can talk basketball forever. Like you can just share knowledge and advice for hours. But obviously, we've got to keep it short and sweet sometimes. And again, I'm not logging any of this or nothing. I don't know how long we've been talking, but I don't know how. Let me have a look on YouTube. How many people are watching? This is what I need. We need assistance, but we're not allowed them because everyone's on lockdown. Like Victor and Rui and other people like help remotely, but you need many hands to make this work smoothly. And there you go. 60 minutes we've been running. Jack Davey, represent. Congrats, Joe, on being top scorer. Was awesome playing against you guys in Trier. No question there, just a big up.
Oh, thank you. Jack is a lovely human being. Like, it was awesome to see him just coming out to Germany and just taking a risk, like someone who's just a good human being who's gone out of his comfort zone. He's come out to Germany. He's played, I think it was 3 years he played here in the end, maybe 3 or 4 years, and just going, outside it, I'm just going to take a chance. I'm going to do it, and has made like a career out of it for himself. Like, it was awesome for him to do that. Like, especially as a 3-5, like it's a hell of a tough position to play a 3-5 in a professional league. Yeah.
And he's got to play with Dirk Passevan as well, which is obviously an honour in itself.
Exactly.
And they had a cool little crew there as well with Corey and Ryan Wright. Like, they were doing their social media for Trier as well. Like, no one's ever done any of the things that they've done before, like that they were doing, like sitting in that restaurant with their cowboy hats on and like promoting their games. Like, no one's done anything like that. Like, that was cool. And Jordan Bright from Exeter is doing similar things as well. Like, they're doing videos for Exeter Otters and stuff. Yeah. And obviously with Jack Davey as well. So I think if Exeter weren't so far away from everywhere else in the world, I think that, they can still be a decent club, but they're going to be...
It'll be easier for them.
Yeah, it'd be easier for them to get players and stuff. But I think if everything turns a little bit more professional and people can offer accommodation and training facilities, like maybe not always wages, but can offer somewhere to live and things like that, I think you'd be able to attract players basically, and they're doing the right things.
It's one of the things though. Like, how many of the guys who are not necessarily guys who are back playing in England now, because there are guys playing in England like, I don't know, yourself or like Jack who have been out there and played. Maybe you two have had examples of the negative side of this, but there are guys playing in Britain who have played professionally. But how many of the guys who are organising clubs and running clubs have got any experience of what the professional leagues look like? Like, they're trying to sort of professionalize a league within this own little bubble, like without actually having seen outside of the little dome that they're in. And I think it's really difficult to do that. Like, even with the best will in the world, like, you might genuinely want to change that, but if you've never been out and experienced what it looks like on the other side, like what it looks like with these professional clubs, like, I know when I was at Landil, I was forever trying to get somebody from GB, not from the playing side, but from the office side. Like, hey, just come out here. Like, we'll fly yourselves here. We'll pick you up. We'll give you free accommodation, like in the hotel. You can spend a couple of days in the office with the manager. You can learn how they attract sponsors, how they organize the courts, how they promote things on game days, like all of these different things, like, and take that knowledge back to the league. Like, you share that with the other clubs.
Sorry?
The GB Association, like, it was a general request to but there was never really any interest from it. Like, the only people who've ever taken me up on it was Disability Sport Northern Ireland came over to Hanover this year. No, it wasn't Jason. It was one of their other reps came over. It's a guy called Danny came over and just spent a couple of days with us, just hanging out. Cool. Like, went out with some food. He came to some training sessions. The plan was to come to games, but then the dates got a bit mixed up with like home games and away games. But he went to see a team in Holland and then came to see a team like came to see us in Germany. I think he might have gone to see Cologne as well, like via Matt Foden.
Cool.
Just because they saw themselves like as Northern Ireland, as the region, as more comparable to like a county here in Germany. So how does a county organise themselves? Where do they get their funding from? How do they accommodate players? What support do they have for local players, not just for professionals? And that's the first time like someone from an organisational body or from like a league structure has taken any interest in coming and looking how the established professional leagues do it, which is crazy to me. Like you've got the perfect, especially at Landau, you've got the perfect model of how to run this. So go and talk to people.
And Hanover, obviously, not that they're copying Landau, but they're obviously not affiliated either. But there's obviously a lot of connections with Jan Haller and yourself, like not trying to steal their show, but you know, they've done it the best way seen so far. So let's do it and develop. And that's what you guys are doing. And it's great. Like it needs to be done.
Like they don't have the advantages that Thüringen. Like, sorry, they don't have Thuringen's advantages, for example, where they've got their own gym that they own and that they can use 24 hours a day. But how many teams in the world have an advantage like that? Like for Thuringen, that's awesome. But from the teams I've been involved in, and from what I understand from other guys around the world, like it's one of the most professionally run clubs that there's ever been. One of the first to really professionalize that way, not just by paying players, but the structure around it. And they're not shy to share that knowledge either. Like why, if you've got a successful model, why wouldn't you want to take some of those things? Like for a team from Britain or from us in Hanover, like you've got somebody who's been doing something really well for 15 plus years. Cool. Well, take some of their ideas then.
Yeah, and develop them, like, because Hanover have got it good, and obviously they've changed the DJ now from the first guy, right? That your favourite.
Yes, they have.
You've got
100%.
Is it DJ Flash or something like that? Flash Nico or Nico Flash or something? Right.
Nico Team Flash, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's his Instagram handle. Yeah, but he's awesome. Like, it's not my music at all, but it's all sort of like, or what it sounds like to me is kind of like early 90s hip hop stuff. I might be a million miles out, but it's basketball music. Like, it's awesome. He mixes it. Like he creates it feels like you're at a basketball game, you know? Like my taste is maybe a little different, but it also wouldn't feel right at a basketball game.
You'd have no fans. It'd be you and Sadler and everyone would leave. Like,
me and Sadler would have a great time and nobody else would. Like the old DJ used to warn the crowd before they played one of the songs that we requested.
Awesome.
Like, and they weren't even bad ones. But he's awesome. Like he's really, really good. And it's the little touches like that, like it just makes a difference. Like that you've got your commentator there, that you've got good quality commentators doing the live stream, that you've got a decent DJ in the gym, you've got advertising around there, like all these little touches. Like that doesn't make the difference between you winning and losing a game maybe, but these little touches, these little bits of detail make a difference in your development and the professionalization over 10 years.
Yeah. And Hanover have got it all, like doctor, physio, facilities, like accommodation. It's all, obviously you have to be worth it, but they've got, because that's not like Hanover is stacked with loads of money. Like it's definitely not the situation, but
absolutely not.
But you know, if you want to improve your game and you're happy to do as you're told, not do as you're told, that sounds wrong, but you know, do it correctly, Hanover's the place to be, in my opinion, for lots of reasons.
Completely.
And that's not just from my own personal experiences. From obviously, I know other people in the world who play basketball and their experiences at other clubs in various countries, and it's not just the basketball and the facilities either. It's like the location, and as a location, like Hanover's, and as a wheelchair user, Hanover's a great location as well. Like all of it. Yeah. Like it's a bit windy,
flat and modern, and
just a bit windy. Apart from that, it's and you said that when I was like, mate, how windy can it be? Like, why is he moaning about the wind? Like, God, this dude's a knob. And then like a few days in on my handbike,
but I was right.
Now it's windy. Like, you didn't see too much of that.
I felt like I was going backwards when I was trying to do a lap of the Marshsea the other day. It killed me.
Oh, I bet your chair's never seen the outside, has it? Poor thing. Apart from for the team photo.
Not since Murray was fired by GB. It hasn't. No, we used to have to do the hill.
Oh man, but more people need to get outside, man. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've been told not to interrupt, but I definitely am.
There's a bit of
Yeah,
a lag as well, so I keep doing it as well. Sorry,
that's all right.
it feels like there's a pause and then there's no pause.
Yeah. So got a text from someone saying, I don't know if you know who Chris Ricks is. He's like he does like
I know. Yeah,
disabled
yeah,
strongman. He says to say hi to
yeah.
Joe for him. That's it. Say hi.
Hi, Chris.
He does like he pulls trucks and stuff. He does disabled rowing, which is pretty cool as well.
Cool. Yeah,
He does
rather
all
you
sort
than me, Chris. That does not sound fun. That sounds like a lot of work.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's meant to be a 15-minute segment, and obviously we've been talking a
Yeah,
little
sorry
bit
about
longer.
that.
No, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. This is a brand new thing. I don't know what people want to hear or see or whatever. Like, it's just, Corona's brand new. This platform's brand new. So we don't really know where we're at with this yet. But yeah,
It works cool though. I'd like to get some videos of some of your highlight plays, and we can debate what went wrong.
well, that's it. Everything's time consuming, and if we want to do because again, no one's got anything to do. So if people want to see this regularly, then obviously I ain't got all the time in the world to sort everything out. But yeah, we want clip like that. It'd be cool. There's just so many options that we can do with this. So with the right time and stuff, like we've got some really, really cool interviews lined up. Like a guy that played at our 3x3, and he's from the Philippines, and he messaged me saying we should talk about Philippine basketball, and I'm like, I don't know anything. I know that it's absolutely huge in their country, like it's the thing, but apart from that, I know nothing. I said, just you come and do a chat, and he's like, all right, cool. And he seems to know a lot of people, so
Awesome.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got some guys from Venice Beach, like a guy who he's played professional basketball in Germany actually as well. And
from the AB scene or wheelchair scene, you mean?
The able-bodied basketball scene.
Wow.
His name's Eugene Wright. If you put that in YouTube, you'll find an awesome highlight video. And it's not just the highlights, it's the music that goes with it. And he made that 2003 or something. And it's like what everyone's trying to do now. He'd done that 2003 and he's moved on to the next thing. He's made 2 absolutely amazing videos and then called it a day sort of thing. But he's in all Venice Beach interviews and documentaries and stuff. And yeah, he's going to be on there telling us about free throws because he has not a free throw addiction, but yeah, probably could class it as a free throw addiction. He shoots 200 a day, I think. And when we were discussing this interview, I said we had a question for him that our friend Hadj told me to ask him, and he wouldn't let it go that I wouldn't take the answer from him about his free throws. He wanted to tell me the information. I'm like, dude, I don't need to know. No, it's for the chat. He's like, no, but it's important information. It needs to be heard. I'm like, well, yeah, save it for the chat. Obviously, I do want to hear it, but I also want to hear it, for the first time from him because I know who he is anyway. Before he's agreed to do the interview, he's a Venice Beach celebrity sort of thing. He's legit.
All right.
He's currently tying basketball hoops to palm trees on the boardwalk and playing basketball there because they've closed the Venice Beach basketball court. So he's doing it. Yeah, he ain't giving up. And then we've got some guy called, but yeah, I think we should call it a day.
Yeah, man. Some of us have got daughters that are going to be waking up far too early tomorrow morning.
Oh, I'll let you go then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Pleasure, Joe. Thanks very much. Tell all your friends or basketball friends. Hala, we want you to come on here and anyone else.
You need to get Hala and Tommy together is what you need to do.
Lockdown, mate, not allowed. Can't socialise.
You can't have 3 people on a call at once?
Not yet. It's not as easy as it sounds or looks. It's a bit. It takes time, but again,
fair enough.
It's only started on Wednesday, so yeah. Thanks everyone.
Tommy Bowmer as well.
Yeah, he seems pretty funny, but I've never actually spoke to him. Tell your friends that what we're doing and share it, and let's keep developing it. And thanks to anyone that was watching or listening, and yeah, stay updated. Thanks, Rupert. We are logging out. I don't know if you need to know. Wait, just hang fire for a second, just in case. Don't want to break the rules or mess anything up. In case he's got a video. Oh, no, we can't play the video, can we? Yeah, we can go. Let's go. I'll speak to you later, Joe.
Right,
Thanks
see you
for your
later.
time. Thanks, Rupert. Thanks, everyone. Bye.